Good morning, and thank you for tuning in. And to all the mothers who are tuned in this morning, happy Mother's Day. I hope and I pray that your day is immensely blessed, that you receive a lot of flowers, a lot of chocolate, whatever the desire of your heart may be. I pray that maybe just to be surrounded by your kids or to get to play with your grandkids or something like that. But I pray that your day is very blessed. We are so thankful for our mothers, aren't we? And I wanted to show my appreciation for mothers and use this sermon to do that. So we will talk a little bit about mothers this morning and what they mean to us. And I want us to start out in Genesis, in the very beginning of creation. God creates everything and God says it is good, right? He kind of repeats that phrase after everything he makes. You know, he makes the sun, moon, and stars, it is good. He makes the birds in the air, the fish in the sea, they're good. Everything God creates is good. But when you think about adjectives, it's good, but it's not great. You go through creation and everything is good, but it's not really great. It's as if something is missing. Something is lacking. The creation isn't complete, even after man, Adam, is placed in Eden, in this garden that God himself had planted and created. And even though man is there in this garden, and he's got this job, this task, this occupation to take care of it, to tend it, to take care of the animals that are there, it's just not really, something's missing. Something is not right. It's not complete until woman is created. Now think about the beauty of creation. Man, you look at the stars at night, on a clear night, where there's no clouds in the sky. The stars, they just shine and they twinkle. That's beautiful. Or a sunrise, or a sunset, and the colors that the sky shows, the hues, the pinks, the blues, the purples. Beautiful. You think about the beauty that is present in the animal kingdom. All of the wildlife and all of the variety and the diversity and the colors and the sounds, the songs that are present in the animal kingdom. It's beautiful. You think about the trees and the flowers and all the different tones and textures and scents and smells. And God looks at all of that and says it's good, but it's not great. It's missing something. And so you get to Genesis chapter 2. And all of these things are really good, but something is missing. It says in verse 18, the Lord God said, he said it a lot of times, it's good, it's good, it's good. He says in verse 18, it's not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. And so these things are good, but they're not great because Adam is by himself. He needs somebody to share this with. Somebody to complement his existence with. Somebody to be a companion and a suitable helper. And we're going to kind of focus on that phrase this morning, suitable helper, and talk a little bit about why maybe that translation, suitable helper, doesn't carry with it as much force or as much beauty as the original Hebrew phrase, ezer kenegdo, would have carried with it. Because woman isn't just this suitable helper, this help meet, how it's translated sometimes. It's not just that she's placed there because Adam can't wash the dishes or he doesn't know how to fold the clothes. This is not referring to this reality that men need somebody to clean up after them. That is not what Eve is created for, and it's unfortunate that Christianity and humanity in general has twisted this phrase to create some or invent some kind of hierarchy where you have man and woman, where you have the head of the household and the rest of the household. That is not what is portrayed here. What you have is Adam, who is not complete until Eve arrives. Adam, who is strong, but not able to live out his full capacity and strength until Eve shows up. Creation in the universe, which is beautiful, but not complete until woman arrives. The reflection of God, the image of God seen in mankind, but not complete and fully seen until womankind is created. And so you get the picture. And that's the reality of Ezer Kenegdo. The actual original meaning of it is Ezer, a noun, strength or power. Kenegdo, I don't know what that is. I think it might be a preposition, but means like or as, in front of or visible to. And so it's a like strength. So Adam is one strength, woman is another strength, and together they are the image of God in the flesh. So that noun, Ezer, what does it mean? It means a help, a helper. We've all heard the hymn, "Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing." And in that hymn, there's this line that says, "Here I raise my Ebenezer." And that word Ezer, is help, and Eben is rock. And so I raise my stone or rock of help. It was a standing stone that in the Old Testament, the Jewish people would raise an Ebenezer. They would stand up a standing stone as a reminder that God at some point had showed up during difficult, desperate times and demonstrated that He was their helper. And so you go to other places in Scripture where this noun, this word Ezer, is used, and we start to understand what God is doing when He creates woman. And of course, here's my point, that when God creates woman to be this and gives woman this capacity, woman carries that over into motherhood, and that's where we experience that reality of strength and love and affection, companionship, care. It's where we see it clearly. Psalm chapter 33. Psalm 33, verse 20. Says, "We wait in hope for the Lord. He is our help and our shield." So God is an Ezer because He shows up and He helps. And it's not the kind of help like God's going to help us do the dishes or God's going to help us, with our homework. It's God's presence is going to become a reality, and that strength is going to be our help. God is going to show up. And so God is an Ezer, and woman is this Ezer too. Psalm 70, verse 5. So we see it again in this poetry where we are reminded how much of a help, how much of a strength God is in the lives of His people. And that is a reminder that woman, and specifically mothers, are this same kind of of help, this same strong presence that we need in our lives. Psalm chapter 70 verse 5 says, "As for me, I am poor and needy." Right? It's kind of like Adam. He was poor and needy until Eve was created. "As for me, I am poor and needy. Come quickly to me, O God. You are my Azer. You are my help and my deliverer. Do not delay." And so there is this connotation, this context where creation is poor and needy without woman, the Azer. And specifically Adam is poor and needy without his Azer, without Eve. And children are poor and needy without their Azer, their mother. Right? What happens to children who don't have a loving mother present during their childhood? They are traumatized and grow up without something that they desperately need. And it changes the course of their life. We desperately need God, and in the same way we desperately need women and mothers, because they are a help. They are a strength that is needed. And so we get this picture that it's not just suitable helper in the way that culture and society has described so often and for so many years. It is help in the sense that God's image is reflected in woman to provide this companionship, this affection, this love, this care that only a woman can provide. And so God created somebody who is very much like Him. When we experience the love and the care and the affection of a mother, what we're really getting a taste of is the love and the care and the affection of God. And that is why we need mothers so much. We need women present in our lives so much, because God created them to be like Him, to be a help like Him. It's that maternal instinct where a woman will do anything for their child, where a woman will provide that love and care and affection, and sometimes that deliverance that they need. You know, when we were in Alaska, I told Tristan, we're going to see moose, we might even see bear. And if you see a mama moose with her calves or a mama bear with her cubs, you know, just don't get in the way, don't get real close, because a mama moose and a mama bear will do anything to protect and defend and care for their children. You don't mess, you know, a bull moose or a male bear, that's kind of scary, but it's the mama bear that you got to watch out for. It's the mama moose that you got to watch out for, because they'll do anything for their children. And isn't it the same way with mothers? I mean, fathers, they play their role, but it's the mama you got to watch out for, because the mom is protecting her children. The mom is defending and watching out for her kids. And God creates women with this built-in capacity for that. Not just to care for and to be affectionate and to be a strength in creation, but also to be a source of comfort and protection, in the sense that mothers have so much love for their children that forgiveness is a part of who they are. And women have so much goodness in them and so much love in them that their inclination to see the good in others, to see the good in creation, and to forgive is so much clearer in them than it is in men. And one of my favorite authors, Wendell Berry, he writes this poem to his mother titled "To My Mother," and he describes that. He writes, "I was your rebellious son. Do you remember? Sometimes I wonder if you do remember. So complete has your forgiveness been. So complete has your forgiveness been, I wonder sometimes if it did not precede my wrong. and I erred, safe found within your love. Prepared ahead of me the way home or my bed at night, so that almost I should forgive you who perhaps foresaw the worst that I might do and forgave me before I could act, causing me to smile now, looking back to see how paltry was my worst compared to your forgiveness of it, already given. And this then is the vision of that heaven of which we have heard, where those who love each other have forgiven each other, where for that the leaves are green, the light, a music in the air, and all is unentangled, and all is undismayed. Wow, I love those words that speak to the reality of woman as an Azer, as a like strength to Adam, who provides this love and this affection and this needed capacity to forgive that is so clearly seen in women and carried into motherhood. And we have this confidence that mom is going to make things all right, that she loves us, that she has forgiven us. And when we experience that, we're getting a taste of heaven. We're getting a taste of God, because God put that in woman, gave that to mothers, so that we would know that that's how He is. That's who He is. He is that Azer, that help, that deliverer, that forgiver, that lover of His children. Women have this built-in capacity, this wonderful inclination to forgive and to love and to protect. And that is the help and the strength that she provides. To see the good in her sons and daughters, and even in humanity in general. And it's an inclination that's not as present and not as visible in men, not as present in Adam, but something that's very present in God. And that's why He gave it to woman to reflect it. We've all experienced that forgiveness, that love, that care, either in the love of our own mothers, or maybe in the love of an aunt, or a cousin, or a sister, or a friend, or some adopted mother that loved us when we didn't have a mother who did. Maybe a mother that the church provided, right? Or a grandmother that the church provided. And even if we haven't experienced that through the blessing of having a mother, I did, and I love my mom, and she loves me, and she showed me that side of God from a very young age. But even if we don't see it in the women present in our lives, because sometimes sin distorts that image, and unfortunately, both men and women, we don't live up to the image of God in us, we don't reflect the image of God in us, there's still hope to experience that help that God gave Eve, because God is the source of that help, and He forgives us and loves us, is our companion and a presence in our lives, a strength we need. It can still be found in Him. And so thank you to the women, thank you to the mothers who have portrayed and reflected that love and forgiveness and strength accurately. We thank you and we honor you today. Happy Mother's Day. But we also think about God, who is the source of that strength, and we thank Him for being a continual presence of love and affection and care and forgiveness in our lives too. Blessings.